Good evening, and God bless you. Good evening, and God bless you. I am Ian.
And I am Rachel.
We we are a big family life in the Simpson family home, and 4Fs with the Simpson family. The 4Fs represent faith, family, food, and fitness. Faith because we believe we can do all things through Him who loves us.
Sorry, just wait. Phoenix, can you just hold off until we're done, please?
She's got a lot of it. It's okay. She'll be fine. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's keep her. She's got a lot of it. She's good. Faith, because we believe. That's fine, sweetheart. We believe we can do all things through Him who loves us. Family, because aside from God, there's nothing and no one more important on this earth. Food, because food is medicine. And fitness, because we believe that overall wellness can be achieved by pursuing and maintaining a strong mind, soul, and body. 4 parts for the whole. Hence 4Fs to manifest your best life by grace under God. This particular segment is called Real Talk. We are a blended family of 10, and we just kind of jump in and chop it up about some of the things that we've gone through in our personal live life experience, our journey together, and how we overcome the daily difficulties of being such a large family. Let me get out of the way because my wife had some items on her heart that she wanted to speak on tonight, so I'm gonna.
Well, usually we start off with like what makes you happy.
Right.
However, we'll just wait for a moment and allow people, because we are actually an hour early.
We are an hour early tonight because normally we do broadcast at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah. However, it was asked on Monday when we broadcast last if we could possibly start a little bit earlier. So we are doing that and starting a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. And and this, as always, it's a conversation. It's not a monologue. It's a conversation, and the more interactive, the more enjoyable for all involved.
Are you reading that too?
That name, right? I will keep my mouth shut. No, you don't have to. God bless you. Welcome. God bless you. They were with us, I think, the last time we broadcast.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a really interesting, eye-catching name.
Yeah, we should have. What we should have actually done was made a post this afternoon saying that we're gonna go a little bit earlier this evening, but that's fine. We're just gonna go. What is this, sweetheart?
She's going for her play date.
Okay. All right. Have fun. Be safe.
I'm bringing my water.
Miss Kenny came and.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, bring your water in case you get thirsty. That's a great idea. So, my love, what did you do today that made you smile? If happiness is a choice, and you identify for whatever reason that maybe your situation, your circumstance, you're not happy in, well, that can always be improved. And how you go about doing that is step 1, and we're just working the heck out of step 1 over here in the Simpson family home, and that is to identify the little things that make you happy and feed into that.
It's like, because it's you're forming habits,
right?
And so it's like, okay, we can do step 1 and just
keep
pass
working
on.
the first step.
Yeah, no, we can do step 1 and then move to step 2, but it's not ingrained. It's kind of just like those empty words.
Well said, my love. Yeah,
so,
we got to work that first step so that we're forming healthy habits, replacing old habits. Because good evening, God bless you. It says good evening, Simpson family. Good evening, God bless you. Thank you for joining us, BBO. And to be or not to be. You said a little bit. I'm just going to throw this out there. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Hey, how are you? God bless you. Thank you for stopping in. Pals Island Kitchen.
Yes,
I want to say it's Patricia, but I can't. I don't think that's right. Hey, Jody. I'm trying over here, guys. Thanks for the inspiration. Right. God bless you. And please take a moment. We've got some. Let us know what you did today to make you smile. And
so I was just saying, like, step 1 is like we have to continuously. That's why we're so consistent in asking people what made you happy or smile, because for me, I have to even remind myself. It's an ongoing daily journey because I can find so many things that make me frown or make me upset, but
can I go first today? And this is from yesterday. This is from yesterday, and it was so good though. Okay, it was so awesome.
Ready,
because
go.
Thank you, baby Callie Blue, our 8-year-old. She is my my compass. She's my compass. Huh? She's my compass on my happiness monitor. Because I have to be very aware, because I do I'm very expressive, and when I'm working through something, like, it's all right here. And I'll be doing dishes, I'll be cooking, and it's all right here. And then all of a sudden I'll see, and she'll be looking at me, she's like, Dad, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah. And she's like, you're not smiling. And so yesterday, I was sitting outside, and she just came out and reminded me that I wasn't smiling. And she's very good at that. And she says, good, Dad? And I'm like, yes, of course. Why wouldn't I be? You're not smiling. I'm sorry, baby. Mm-hmm. And that always puts a smile on my face when she does that for me. She does that for me to remind me that I'm not smiling. And I ought to be. I ought to be, because life is so good. Mm-hmm. God is so good. In the moment, we might have some difficulty. But in the overall, when we look at the big picture, right? And it says, spending time with the family from Pals Island. Pal, can you please remind me again what your name is again, please? I don't want to call you. I apologize. It slipped my mind. And I don't want to call you Pals Island Kitchen. I know that's, yeah, please. Ian, Rachel, Jody's in there with you, and one other person that will check in when they're ready. Mm-hmm. God bless you. My love.
So what made me smile today is I came home and my snake plants were finally repotted. That made me smile.
Finally. It's only been like, I procrastinated on that.
Yeah, no, that made me smile because I had bought planters containers, and they're blue, and I love blue.
Blue's her color.
And so he planted
snake plants
for me today. Now I gotta find somewhere to put them.
The plants make me happy. The plants give me great joy. Jody said, what made me smile yesterday? We were at the swimming hole with my youngest in the water. Called his eldest brother over. My eldest swam over. Baby immediately swam away laughing. You're standing in my pee.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You're standing in my pee. So I laughed my butt off. That is fantastic. Thank you. It says that it looks good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is great. I love blue too. Thrifting finds. Yeah. You know how hard it was for me to find those? It took weeks to find, and then prior to those, no, that's not one of them. She got little white ones that are very nice too. The two are up there, but that's fine.
Okay.
And plants are something that we identified gives me great joy. And the benefit of them is they purify your air. Like, I mean, like air humidifiers and everything like that, those are great. However, they are not the end all and be all of air purification. If you want to do that naturally, get you some plants. Yes, get some plants. And we've got, if you see behind us there, that is Sideshow Bob. That fern there, I have named him Sideshow Bob, because whenever I look at that guy there, and if you remember Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons, his partner, Sideshow Bob, had hair that looked exactly like that, except it wasn't green, it was mostly purple. However,
How do you remember stuff like this?
I have no control over what sticks.
I know.
It just does or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, yes, please share with us what you did today that made you smile, because if happiness is a choice, then the first step is to identify. The first step from getting unhappy to happy is just quite simply identify the little things that make us happy and feed into that. And we have to continually work that first step. Because we might feel like we might want to move on to step 2. However, as Rachel said, we're developing those good habits.
Natasha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natasha, because of my niece. Thank you, my love. You are so right.
Well,
Natasha.
yeah,
that's Pal's. Oh, she said it right there. Oh, you didn't remember. She said it. I missed
that.
You could have owned that. I thought you remembered. Thank you, Natasha. My apologies. I didn't notice that you had put that in there. And now word association is very important for me, so I will remember. Now that we've done that, you had a topic that was on your heart that you wanted to.
Well, it was not even just on my heart. It's been something we've been working through, and it's like the relationship piece where we see this generation has been, I guess, there's long-term relationships where they're together but there's no commitment. or there's a one-sided relationship where one person is feeding the relationship but the other person is not, and so it just continues on with there's no compromise or communication, and so one person is feeling like they're putting in this work, or else being traumatized, and then the other person is just kind of stringing them along and not giving them what they require out of a relationship. So I think that's where I was, because we've been having that conversation.
We have. And I mean, for me, as a dude, right? As a dude, my previous relationship, I was in a previous relationship for 25 years, and the truth of the matter is that I knew that her and I were not going to be married. I knew that in my heart, and it wasn't that I didn't want to be married, because obviously I did. I just knew that she wasn't the one, and because life is complicated and involved, and because trauma being what it is, and I endured that and went through that, and I only mention that because of this. I say that to say this. Fellas, if you know she's not the one, and especially if she's a good girl, let her go find her forever, man, because there's somebody there for everybody. There's somebody out there for everybody. Mm-hmm. And especially if she's a good girl, and especially if he's a good dude, and and I'm now male, female, whatever, and that in you that, for whatever reason, let him go, man. Let him go. Let her go. Let him go, because you're just damaging somebody else's future wife or husband. You're damaging somebody else's future wife or husband. And that's not cool, especially if they're a good person. Go ahead, see it.
No, and she says, let her go. And actually, it's a song that The Passenger, and it was actually one of my other mom, Carol, that was one of her favorite songs when we were working together. So it just reminded me of Carol. So it's just that, like, are we going to continue in these patterns which we see are not conducive to healthy relationships? And so, like, what do we have to do? I seen something on Facebook today, and it was like one of those kind of in this regard, and I lost it.
Oh no.
I just remember they were using a name, and the name was Earl, and now I lost it.
Oh no, you're okay, baby. You got it.
No, I gotta think of it. I had it, and then it just went.
All right, I'll fill
it, please.
I'll fill the void, and the thing is just that relationships, right? And it takes a level, and I accept that, and I accept and understand and appreciate. It takes a level of maturity, right? It takes a level of maturity to reach that point. However, would that we were all willing to grow. Jody says, funny, I was just talking to one of my girlfriends about this. But he was on a dating website for married people to for married people to secretly cheat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and that's where I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in because I remember now.
Please.
So it was like they're talking about relationships in the past, like how grandparents kept their relationships together and they held through, they worked it through. Mm-hmm. And then the person was like, oh, well, they didn't have Instagram because look at Earl's Instagram page. It has nothing to do with his partner. Yeah. So, social media does play a role.
It does.
And look at what you're saying, Jody, is, those websites where everything is in secrecy. Mm-hmm. I think we've recently seen where you can have secret messages even was it on the phone?
Yeah, on my cell phone. There's a stealth mode. There's a stealth mode, and I mean, there was a time when this would have been fire for me. I would like, yes, I need this, and I need it now. However, I should tell you that vanish mode, right? Jody says vanish mode. My cell phone, it's up there. Most of the times, like my wife is frustrated because she tries to use her thumb pin inadvertently to open my phone. It's like, why is it not working? And the thing is that one of the very first things that I did was I gave her the password to my cellular phone. And that was actually important to me. It was important to me because in my previous relationships and in my previous life, that is something that I would have never done. I would have taken that to my grave. You know, I didn't even use the fingerprint because, you know, you could, like, if I get knocked out or something and, you know, you could just, nah, you know?
Next level.
No, it's not next level. It's just common sense. Yeah, trust.
Yeah.
Trust Jody. Trust Jody. I wanted to immediately show her that I trusted her. And that this was not, and that was something that was just so absolutely foreign to me. However, it was very important. And so I don't generate my own passwords for my social media, for my emails, I don't generate my own passwords. She generates them for me and then she lets me know what they are.
And it's funny because
good evening. God bless you. Thanks for stopping in.
I've come home and he's like, I couldn't figure out my password. And I changed it. Now, well, what did you change it to? I don't remember.
Well, that's why she keeps the passwords. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I had to change it, baby. It was something I needed. Something I had to change. What's the new one? I don't know. Maybe. Probably just change it again, baby. Just change it again.
Changing it again, and putting it in the vault. But yeah, it's really interesting because I come from that same past life where. Actually, I wasn't even given a choice to have a password. It was taken from me. So it was like, take the phone, gotta go look through, who are you speaking to? How come you talk to them for 2 minutes? Or, it would even be family members. Like, why were you talking to so-and-so for so long? And then I had to replay the whole conversation. So now it's really, I guess I feel like a weight lifted off because of this trust. Because I can put my phone down and, ask him to go look at whatever in my phone and it's done. There's no big drama. I like that.
And it's so interesting because one thing that I had to work to this. I would never go into her purse. Yeah.
You stayed out of my purse for the longest time.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because that's her space. I was in a place in my last relationship where my ex didn't feel any way about going through my wallet and then justifying it and this, that, and that. And that was just such a feeling of violation. Not that she found anything or whether she found anything or not is irrelevant. Like, I mean, I'm not just an extension of you, you know what I mean? You end and I begin somewhere, you know what I mean? And she didn't honor that. And so for me, it was like, if I felt that way, I felt that, I this is private. Babe, go in my purse. I'm like, no. I would go get the purse and walk it to her and be like, here you go, baby. And I've since gotten past that. However, I lived that life before. Verna May says, I lived that life before, will never do it again. Right? Happiness is a choice, right, Verna May? Mm-hmm. What's up?
Oh my gosh, these teenagers. Like,
And so Jordan is rocking a man bun. And I'm very conflicted about it because I know how I feel about man buns. But the problem is it looks good on them.
Yeah. I seen him yesterday. I was like, hey. Yeah.
So Jordan, come here, Jordan. Come on. Let them decide. You guys can let me know how y'all feel about this and give me the verdict on the man bun, please. Jordan, come. And Jody says...
I've learned that a liar always thinks that you're being lied to.
They are being lied to,
and yes. And a cheater always thinks you're being cheated on.
That's right, because they project. Come on in. And give us a quick second here, Jody. Jody says, let's see. So, get in here. Let's give you some room here. Like I said, man buns are... Hey, cousin Di. Okay, so here's the man bun. Okay, get in the frame. What do you think, guys? Yay or nay? Yay or nay
it's pretty fire, guys.
Yay or nay to the man gun, guys. Man bun. Love it. Keep rocking it, little man. Okay, there's your first B says, love it. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I like it.
See what cousin Di finish her... man buns are hot. I mean, hey, it looks like you're getting some positive feedback here, little man. So Yeah.
Sounds like it's a keeper.
Yeah,
I like
so-
it too because I don't have to style my hair.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Just put it up and it's
Yeah.
out of my face and
And
everything.
when you're playing
Yeah.
ball, it's
Yeah.
it's very convenient when you're on the basketball court. I mean, but yeah, cool for summer too, right? Jody
Yeah.
says it's cool for summer too. So hey, come here a second. Come on over here. Come on over. Come closer. Yeah, you see, look at that there. Look at that there. Look at that there. Look at that man. Look at the six pack.
All the work
Look at the work.
he did.
Look at the work that he put in from last spring. Look at the work. Look at the work. All right, son. Thank you.
We're like his biggest fans.
Biggest fans.
Yeah.
Look at the work this kid has put in. The work.
Yeah.
Right? And Verna May says, hey man, just be you.
Yeah.
Be you. You like it, that's all that matter. Be you. What's up, little man? Are you good? All right. Abs.
Yeah.
Jody said abs. And then it says that, and so the opposite is true. Trustworthy people trust others. Honest people believe others. That, Jody.
Oh.
Sorry, my love.
I was like,
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you guys. It said that, Jody, what you just said there. That, Jody, what you just said there. Honest people. What did it say?
Wait.
Trustworthy people trust others. Honest people believe others. That right there, Jody. That right there, Jody. That right there. And Verna May up on TikTok there says, so true, Jody. So true. Honest people believe others. Trustworthy people trust others. You don't project. So true. And Jody also says, Ian, you should be a trainer. You know, and it was in my wheelhouse. It was actually in my wheelhouse, and I actually started taking that course at U of M to become a personal trainer. And it's not something that I want to be. I'm something of a jack of all trades, master of none. I know a small amount about a great many things, and I used to think that that was a bad thing because I didn't have any clear proficiency in any one area. And I've come to realize that it's just preparing me for my life now because I'm able to do a great many things and do a great many things well. And so thank you for that. That is something that is in my wheelhouse. I'm not sure. I want to be more. I'm actually, Jody, believe this or not, to get this. If this league actually pops off, I'm actually the scout for Western Canada for basketball, football, soccer, hockey, the 4 proprietary sports. So it's God's plan, Jody. God's plan. So yeah, we'll see. If it pops off, it'll be great. I'll be in the thick of it. I'll be right where, it'll be fantastic if it pops off. And if it doesn't, it's still fun. I'm still having a great time with it. And you know, it's why do I go as hard as I go? Because I realized I looked at it the other day. I mean, we train hard. I train harder now than at any other point in my life. I sometimes go 3 times a day. And you might wonder that at going to be 50 this year, what motivates me to go as hard as I do? My grandparents were married for almost 59 years. Verna May, God bless you. Wow. No social media back then. Raised 11 children. And you know what? That one of the things that relationship was just so strong. Probably one of the reasons was because there was no social media. You know, follow Gary V on Instagram. Thanks, Jody. Mom is writing it down right now. And so, you know, I go as hard as I do because 2 years ago I had the hip replacement surgery. Last spring I was 260 pounds and in perpetual chronic pain. I'd been in pain probably. Pain had been my constant companion for the last decade and a half. And so I had given up on a great many things. I'd given up on basketball. I'd given up on being pain-free. I'd given up on leading a quality of life, and I was maybe a little bit depressed, maybe a little bit in despair. And I had a very candid conversation with God, and I asked for discernment. And I said, is this it for me? And I used to be an athlete. I used to be very active, so this was tough. And I got the feeling, and when you talk with God, it's not like how we're talking right now. At least it's not that way for me. It's more a feeling, an idea, an intuition. Something was placed in my heart, and I acted on it. And I got this feeling placed in my heart that I just needed to start moving. And so I started moving last spring, and I dragged the family into it with me, kicking and screaming. Kicking and screaming, because I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I can't do this without you. I can't, and that's what it was. I straight up, I said, if I'm gonna do this, I can't do it without you. I need you. I can't do this on my own. And they stepped up. They stepped up. These kids, they stepped up, man. Let me tell you, every day, Monday to Friday, over the course of the winter, most mornings we had to go out and shovel the back pad in the driveway there. We had to go shovel it. Minus 35 Celsius, it didn't matter. Minus 45 Celsius, it didn't matter. Monday to Friday, every morning we were out there working. Minus 50, we still ran our laps. Still did our push-ups. And I did that intentionally because I wanted to show these kids that prayer and hard work. Prayer and hard work. I wanted to let them know that if you have it in you to get up 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, minus 45, it's cold, the sun's not up, and they're out there with me grinding. God, I love them so much.
No, and then we're
They
going
inspire
back
me and motivate me so much.
Back on relationships. You're kind of talking about already with the fitness piece. It's like making that time for what matters to you. You mentioned that Monday. Yes, Monday. And so it's like a lot of things that we do as an individual. We have those choices of where we're going to spend our waking hours. So from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. And I'm guessing like some of us go to work, but on our off time, we either choose to be at home or we choose to be out with friends. But when you're in a relationship, I guess we talked about, we talk about everything. And it's like, it's different now because all these young guys, I'm going to just say the young guys, right? They have their significant others, but they don't involve them in their life.
Yeah.
They live two separate lives. So they go to work, then they go hang out with the guys.
Yeah. Or what about the girls, gals and guys that have work wives and husbands?
Yeah,
Work wives and
I've heard of
husbands.
that. Yeah.
It's a thing.
So it's like you go and share your personal, if you're having issues even with your partner, your husband or your wife, you go and have those conversations with your work husband or wife. And then you're kind of breaking, for me, it's like, why are you talking about our personal business with somebody else? One person you're leaving out of it is me.
Right.
So those are really important.
And Jody says very quickly, hey Carla, God bless you. Carla says, Hola Simpsons, you're early. Yeah, we started. We're trying to start. We're trying a new thing. So we're gonna go is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Hopefully it works for everybody. And however, Jody had said was that's my problem. I don't have it in me anymore, at least. And you know, I would humbly suggest and respectfully suggest, Jody, that you do. You do still have it.
I
in
think
you.
she's still in the fitness piece
We are.
of it.
We are.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm
we are in the
catching
fitness
up.
piece. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. You do still have it in you.
Yeah.
You do still. See, used to be
Lana.
CrossFit Burpee Queen. Hey fam. Hey Lana. God bless you. Used to be CrossFit Burpee Queen. You do have it in you. You do still have it in you, Jody. The thing is that we make time for the things that are important to us. And once you have decided that fitness is important to you again, if you make that decision, then you'll find that that is still in you. 200 with squats beat all the 20-year-old hockey. Wow. 200 burpees. 200 burpees. I don't even do 200 burpees.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I don't even do burpees. Although it's in our wheelhouse because, again, that's calisthenic movement, no weight, right? That's calisthenic movement, and we're all about calisthenic movement. Our training is a different form of training than what you would do in a gym. For instance, today was more about recovery with squats. 200 burpees with squat. Oh, dang, I saw those just the other day on TikTok. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. We do Navy SEAL push-ups, right? That's where you do the push-ups with the high knees and then you burpee up, right? So what you're doing, you go down, burpee up and come down into a squat, jump up, burpee. Yeah.
Oh,
Best
boy.
ever. Full body exercise. Burpees, full body exercise, full everything. You don't, yeah, I agree. But burpees are great. Verna May says, you want to take that, sweetheart?
Yeah, no, I was waiting because Facebook seems to know people's troubles before they tell the person they live with. It's sad.
You know, I was just looking at that just today. You know, it quacks me up. It quacks me up Because, hey, Riddell, God bless you. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. It quacks me up because I know what the Bible says. Hey, Ben. Ben, real quick before I forget, is Nick your dad? Is Nick your dad? Nick Cummings, is that your dad? Are you guys related? Let me know. And, you know, the idea that, you know, the Bible makes reference. It says that when you're fasting, right, don't go around looking like, no, he's not. Okay, thank you, Ben. Because when we were talking to him last night, he because he had said that his son, Ben, and I'm like, oh, small world. Wouldn't this be a coincidence if, in fact, however, different Ben, obviously, right? And so it's like, where was I, baby? I'm sorry.
I don't know, something about, we were talking about burpees.
No, what was I talking about that?
I want to say thank you, Lana, for stopping in.
Thanks for stopping in, Lana. Because what were we talking about? Damn, it's gone.
It's good.
That's it. It's gone. It's gone.
Aren't we just the pair? It's
right?
Like, we have things going and it's like, we have conversation.
Okay, Ben, I see you.
We have conversations.
In the Bible. Thank you, Verna May.
Thank you. We are such a pair, and it just reminds me because we were talking this one time in therapy, and she goes, "So, what do you do when Ian is talking? Like, are you engaged in this conversation?" And I said, "Well, if it gets to the point where I've heard this conversation before, I kind of just drift off and look because like I've heard the conversation and so it's just." So I'm not actually listening sometimes to what he's saying,
thanks,
and
man. Thanks.
But when it's like, it's
see what
something
Jody
that,
said.
Yeah.
Jody's like, squirrel. You're so right, Jody. Like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. You're so right, Jody. You're so right. You have no idea. So her best friend and sister, Jade. We had just met and came into town. She lives out of town. Came into town for the social, for the wedding social. Here in Manitoba, we have a thing called socials. You do it. It's like a support party to raise money for the couple. And so she comes in, and we're doing the silent auction. And she's bringing up the prizes, and I've got the mic, and I'm calling the numbers, and you know what I mean. And the thing is that this was before she knew that I was shiny, right? She didn't know, and so she was just getting pissed off because she'd walk up with a prize, and I'd be like, rocking the mic, and I'd act like I'm coming to get it, and then I'd be like, zoom, and I'd just I'd be like, oh yeah, here's the next prize, oh squirrel, and she's like, where's he going? She'd be looking at, where is he going? What is he doing? What is going? And she was like big with baby. So like she had no patience for, I mean, and it wasn't afterwards that she told me, and I went and I begged her forgiveness. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Jade. And she just was like, no, it's fine. Rachel explained it to me. I understand. I actually get it. She said, and I was like, oh, you're not mad? No, I actually understand. It's fine. I'm like, oh, God bless you.
So it's like because she's a very she's not a dominant type, but she's very assertive, and so she'll like keep
I like
him,
that she's assertive.
Yeah, and so she'll be having a conversation, and so she knows he's shiny, so she's like tries so hard to keep him
me on task.
Yeah, so their conversation is.
It's so interesting because I think that her and I are very much alike if you take out the shininess, because I'm so shiny, I'm all over the place. Squirrel! However, when it comes to sharing information, we're the same in that just give me the meat and potatoes. Give me the pertinent facts. Give me the information that I require and leave the fluff out of it, because that's not useful to me, especially if it's problem solving. You know what I mean? If there's a problem and we need to, give me the facts. Give me the information that I need so we can solve this problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So that's it. That's so that's why when he's like, "What did I say?" and I'm like, "Yeah, that's where I go," because
we try to keep track of each other's conversations. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As you can see tonight, normally we can usually keep each other on task, but apparently we're having a bad night because she had a blank and I had a blank, and neither one of us knew what we were talking about.
So blanks.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, really, does it even matter? Because we're still laughing, we're still smiling, and the thing is that happiness is a choice, and if you intentionally work at relationships. Verna May said that her grandparents were married 59 years. I mean, that takes work, that takes commitment, that takes effort, right? You have to work at a relationship if you're going to be in it for 59 years. right? I admire that. I aspire to that. We intentionally work at our relationships in this home. We do that intentionally, right? And the thing is, it's so interesting because we don't really mess with a whole lot of other people physically, like in person. Like we do this, and this is the extent of us really, getting out into the world. We're kind of our own kind of self-contained ship in floating through life, if you would, under direction and leadership of God. You know what I mean? We are in this world, however, we are definitely not of this world. They work together at everything, Verna May said. I mean, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my love.
No, and that's it. I was
I keep going underneath here, expecting to find my bottle, and I haven't found it yet. Oh, it's because it's over here.
Yeah.
Shiny.
So making time for what matters to you. So it's like breaking down your day in regards to who you spend your time with, what you put into your mind, and it's a quick indicator of how important you are to the person you're with. Depending if you're independent, female or male. And you already know those qualities of one another. However, if the person is more, I don't want to say dependent, but requires their love language requires time, or some kind of connection, like they're touchy-feely. They're not going to do well in those situations if their partner is out most of the day and not providing their needs for their love.
It's so interesting because I worked for Via Rail for 10 years. Years ago, I left 2006. I worked there for 10 years. And I watched individuals work, and I mean, that's an on-the-road job. You're away from home. And I just watched, and I was a young kid, and I had a young family at the time. However, I watched individuals that, and I often scratch my head because I looked at these individuals. They had whole other lives away from their home, and I watched some individuals actually retire, and didn't know what to do with themselves. And I'm like, what do you mean? You got a family, you got a wife and kids. What do you mean? However, they had spent so much time on the road, they didn't know who their wife and kids was really anymore. And I mean, that's a little bit different because, I mean, necessity is the mother of invention, right? I mean, and we all do and make sacrifices. That's a little bit different. However, I mean, family, everything. And I don't necessarily mean the family or family of origin. I don't necessarily mean our family of origin, because generational trauma being what it is and healthy boundaries being what they are, sometimes we have to decide to love our family of origin from a distance for our own personal mental health. We have to make that decision, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can say we're going to love them from a distance, because where God is trying to take us, they're not prepared to go. And that's fine, because everybody's on their own journey. But your family that you create, more so than your family of origin. The Bible says that a man will leave his mother and cling to his wife. So that suggests to me that your loyalties lie with the family you create, more so than your family of origin. That's just my humble opinion. It's not judgment or condemnation, my love.
No, so Verna May said Grandpa was spiritual, Grandma was Christian Bible lady, yet they balanced and respected each other.
Facts. Gots to. Jody's got a thought as well.
So, and then Jody, I personally choose to be single. Society doesn't support that, but it works for me.
And that's all that matters.
That's all.
Do you rock that? Are you happy, Jody? Because, I mean, you seem awfully, you wouldn't be rocking with us if you wasn't happy. Because we attract a certain kind of energy, because we put off a certain kind of energy. So, I mean, if you wasn't happy, we wouldn't see you as often as we do. And we are so appreciative that we do see you as often as we do. Because you fill our cup.
Exactly. And I like how she says, I personally choose.
That's right.
Because that is your choice.
It's
You're
your choice.
happy with your choice, and you don't have to justify it to anybody. Why do we have to justify a lot of our choices that we make? Because a lot of people like to have their opinions. Love you too, Jody.
It's so interesting to me because I this was because I was a guy. I was that guy that I hated to be alone. I had to have people around me. I hated to be alone. And Verna May Jody, you've made another friend over here as well. Verna May says that, Jody, that's great. I've been single for 8 years. My choice too. I mean, and the thing was, I hated to be alone. And then I hit on something because I wasn't in a relationship. I couldn't get a relationship, couldn't find a decent relationship, couldn't keep. And I hit on something one day. I'm like, if I can't stand to be by myself for 5 minutes, how do I expect somebody else want to be with me for any amount of time? If I can't stand being by myself for any amount of time, how would I expect that someone else is going to want to spend some time with me? Right? So I learned to be by myself and to value that time. I read something once. It says that don't settle, be selective. Yes, Verna May. It says that people don't like to be alone because if it can be addictive. You get to being alone and you get to listening to the thoughts in your head and you get to spending time with God. Yeah, that's addictive. It is. Yeah. Go ahead, baby.
No, and that's after the divorce and everything in the previous life, I had to learn how to enjoy my own company. It was so interesting because I'd be in the city and be in the room and I'd be always like, for work, I would be ordering takeout and eating by myself. And then finally I was like, I'm just like, I gotta learn how to eat by myself. So the first time I was sitting there and I'm eating and I'm like, oh, everybody's watching me. So it was like... It was like really something I had to learn. Yeah. And so now I'm able, because I was like building my own confidence that I am worthy, I am enough.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with being by myself. So I'm so happy that actually happened because I had entered that relationship at the age of 16. And so, I was a child and I still felt like I was a child coming out of that relationship. And so I was able to grow in that time frame.
Yeah.
So that was a really good blessing that I had received at that moment.
And Jody said being alone is addictive. And I mean, one of the things that we used to, when the world was still open, we used to eat out a lot. That's one of our guilty pleasures. We'll just ditch the kids and go have a date night. And we eat out a lot. And we'd go and we'd be eating and she's steak. All day, wherever we go, doesn't matter. Steak, and if they got lobster, steak and lobster, that's her thing. Verna May says, thank you for sharing, baby.
Thank you. You're welcome.
and so, the first few times, it'd be like, I'm an intermediate eater. I'm not fast, but I'm not slow. She is a very meticulous eater. She is a very meticulous eater. She eats like my sister Andrea. Andrea usually would cut all the food, and I mean and like several bites. And I mean, if there's a mushroom, it has to be sectioned so you can get a bite with each, right? Very meticulous. She's a very meticulous eater. She medium rare, yes, all day. She sits and she enjoys her meal, right? And so I remember the first couple of times, right? I'd be done and I'd be like, woo! Yeah, and I do my typical Jamaican thing. I push away from the table, I undo my belt, maybe loosen a button. And all of a sudden she goes into full-blown panic mode and starts packing up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she, well, you're done. I'm like, yeah? Well, we have to go. I'm like, no, you're still eating. What are you doing? Like, she would literally full-blown panic. Like, okay, waiter, I need a doggy bag. And it's like, Ryder's over there laughing because he knows it's so true. And it's like, what do you mean? What are you doing? Finish your food. Enjoy your meal. It's better here than if we let it go home and it's cold and you're gonna bite. No, enjoy your meal. And it was very. We can have a laugh about it now. However, it was just very sad to know that was the expectation in the previous life. We're done. Let's go. And that was
Yeah. Meal would be cut short and you be gone. So it's like that is why like that whole growth piece that I'm working through, and in our relationship I was able to say and open and honest, women are pleasers, and I'm like one
More
of
so
the-
than men, I can't argue with that. There are men that are pleasers too. However, I think that as a generality and a generalization, I don't think you can argue that women are. You're raised to be that way. It is a misogynistic society in which we live, and you are raised that way. And I'm sorry. And if I could change that, I would. I'm working on it. I've got some thoughts in my head. I don't care for it at all. I have daughters. I don't want them, and we don't raise them that way. Go ahead, Mike.
So in our relationship, so when he noticed this pattern that I was just like rushing and feeling so anxious and conflicted with, like, I'm enjoying this, but no, I gotta go. And so I was able to talk with him and say, hey, this is what I've experienced before, and this is how it makes me feel. And then from his point, he's like, well, there's no issue with anything, like, just enjoy your meal. I'm taking a rest.
And there she said it, right? Because from the Jamaican perspective, after a good graze, nothing more appreciative than just a little rest, a little bit of itis to kick. God, I mean, I've been known to have a nap after visiting the buffet. I kid you not. I've done it. Berta says, I used to dine alone in a restaurant and the waitress would ask why, like she felt bad for me. It's like, right? Like, come on now. Like, because I'm eating by myself doesn't mean it's not because I don't have nobody to eat with. I enjoy my own company. I would go to the Y, and you remember I had that little place, that little seafood place, the poutine and pickerel.
Yeah, you told me about it.
I've never taken you there?
No, not yet.
Well, they haven't been open since.
I know.
Yeah, they'll probably never be open again, but it was a great place to have poutine and pickerel. Deconstruct the trauma.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, Jody. I love that. And he says, yeah, I would go there after having a workout, and I would sit and have a meal, and I would go on about my business. And you have to be able to enjoy your own company. I would tell them I feel like I'm in good company with myself. That I talk to myself from time to time, and people look at me like I'm crazy, and when they inquire, I say it's the only time I can get an intelligent conversation. In 2015 I spent an entire year incarcerated. Try to have an intelligent conversation with a bunch of criminals. Just try. I mean, we're locked up in there, incarcerated. I'm incarcerated with dudes that all they want to talk about is the minute that they get out, what the kind of trouble they're going to get into.
I see that too. I'll put my... Oh, I say that too.
I say that too. Yeah, I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation. Would you mind not interrupting?
I think though, isn't it like it's known that if you can converse with yourself and talk out loud, you have a healthy mind. I would
imagine that.
What you doing?
He
needs he needs a Kleenex suddenly. No, he's eating my Minecraft numbers.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the Doodles have decided that Mom maybe Minecraft's too much. The two of them are taking turns eating her coordinates. She writes her coordinates of important places in her world on this piece of paper and yesterday it was Bentley that was eating it.
Mercedes.
And today, Mercedes, excuse me, and today Bentley is eating it. And I mean, it's so interesting because I mean they're not troubling anything else, but they're eating up her Minecraft coordinates.
I mark places where I have to return because there's good stuff there.
Yeah, she's a miner in Minecraft. She says she's a tunneler. She goes to work and she puts in her hard work and she comes home. And here's that self-care piece, guys. It is so vitally important. Here's that self-care piece. I mean, we can't, unfortunately, she can't go and get her nails done anymore. She really enjoys doing that. She really enjoys getting her manicure and her pedicure. And she's been trying to convince me to come with her to get a pedi. There's a thing about having another woman touch my feet. I don't have a problem with her doing my feet. There's a level of intimacy there that I really enjoy, and I don't want to share that with anyone else. So if you want me to come for a pedi, it'll have to be a dude.
It just remind me because I even cut his hair, and it's like when I'm cutting his hair, I'm like kind of caressing, and I have him, and then I'm like, what's gonna happen when you have to go back to the barber? You'll be like leaning up into him.
I was like, no, I just will stop cutting my hair. My aunt used to say, if I were any better, there would be the two of me, right? And it, right? And he said if the good Lord would have made anything better, he'd have kept it for himself. We got to love ourselves. We got to love ourselves because, hey, because of what trauma is, ain't we good at beating ourselves up? Aren't we good at just beating ourselves down? And I mean, we go through a rough patch. And I mean, as a recovering addict, let me tell you, man, can't nobody beat up an addict more than an addict will beat up themselves. True story. There's nothing that if it's unfortunate enough that you have an addict in your life, there is nothing that you can say to that individual that individual hasn't already said worse to themselves. Right? Go ahead, my love.
Oh no, I read the last one.
Read the one before it first.
Okay. And Jody's like, it takes a lot of self-esteem to sit at Joey's bar pre-COVID on a busy Saturday night to run into peers who can't understand why you're there alone.
Because you wanna be.
Yeah.
Good for you. Go ahead.
And then Justin in the Winkler Mall, Amaze Balls Pedicures.
Oh, Justin in the Winkler Mall. Okay, cool. It's a dude that. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because I think that there are certain intimacies that I like to share with my wife, and she's my best friend. She does my nails for me. It's not like I'm incapable of doing my nails. I can cut my own nails. I've been cutting them myself for 50 years. And I mean,
it's
actually
something I enjoy because I even cut all the kids.
Yeah.
I cut all their fingernails.
But I've never told her this, but actually having her cut my nails is an act of huge trust for me.
Yeah.
I think it might be an act of huge, maybe not because women are so used to having pedicures, right? So you're used to having your nails cut. I'll tell you that all you have to do is get the quick cut once when somebody is cutting your nails and they miss and they cut that quick one time and you start to bleed. And you know what's up. So it's a huge trust issue for me. And when she cuts my nails, I won't even look at her. I intentionally, because I trust her implicitly. And yeah, and that was hard for me because I've had that happen. Somebody cut me and I was like, and I bled and I cried and I bled and I cried and it was horrible.
And I even learned how to cut the dog's nails.
She did.
Oh boy, my phone on my battery.
You're 20%. That's like the 20% is like 2 years worth of power.
Are you sure?
It won't run out.
Okay. So yeah, like I enjoy cutting fingernails. So with the dogs, I've been learning how to do it.
I trust Justin. He's amazing. You know what? I don't think it's that you enjoy cutting fingernails. I think that is just your love language, and for you, it's an act of service.
Oh, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, and it's one of your love languages, and you do, like you said, you've been doing it for the kids from time. And it's so interesting watching her with the kids, right? Because Justice is in there now, but Ryder really dislikes having his nails cut, and he will grudgingly. It's like dude, she's not like what? It hurts.
Yeah.
Verna May says, I do my cats and they trust me. Yeah, that's a huge issue because all you have to do is cut them one time. And that apparently, I've heard that it bleeds very badly if you cut that vein. That's in the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it bleeds very bad. I don't trust myself to do it. So yeah, she's
I'm learning. I may have cut them a little bit, not like short enough. However, it's a learning process.
And better too long than too short, I think.
Yeah.
Because too short, there's blood.
Because then we don't hear tick, 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 tick,
yeah.
right down the hallway anymore. So
like the doodles are wearing high heels or something. Running around the house wearing high heels. Cousin Di, if you're still there, can you please tell us what you did today that made you smile? You guys are amazing. Thanks for the inspiration. God bless you, Jody. We appreciate you so much. Cornstarch is great if you cut by accident. Thank you. I actually I heard that as a one-time chef, I heard if you have a knife cut, you're supposed to be able to throw flour in it and it's staunch. Look for the quick. Yeah, you can usually see it through the nail, through the nail bed. Yeah, it's really like purple almost. You can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see it. And maybe when I heard that corn or flour is supposed to staunch the bleeding when you cut yourself in the kitchen, I tried it and it didn't work. Maybe it was supposed to be cornstarch. That might make more sense.
And my great grandfather put tobacco in my cut on my hand. Yeah, I didn't let that happen again.
What's so interesting is that Noah, one of Noah's childhood friends from time, ouch, right? Yeah. He and I have and we're talking. Ethan is in his 20s. He's Noah's age, so that's 22, and I'm gonna be 50 this summer. So we have a shared childhood experience. When I was a child, because of my innate curiosity, I remember as a child in Jamaica, I was walking in the yard and they were doing some street work or something, and there was a piece of asphalt, a tar, on the ground, in the dirt. And I remember as a little tyke, and I was sitting there looking at this tar, and I remember experience is the best teacher, and experience is the best teacher. And I remember looking at this tar, and I remember thinking to myself, that is hot. I know that is hot. The problem was, because of my innate curiosity, I did not know how hot it was. And I had a burning desire to know exactly how hot this piece of tar or asphalt was. Right? And how hot was it? Well, I'm glad you asked, because my initial plan was that I was going to step on it lightly to test the temperature, right? Because I needed to know exactly how hot it was. And so I thought in my childlike mind that if I stepped on it, there was a possibility it would stick to my foot. I gleaned that. However, I also gleaned that I would be okay because I would be able to just shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Shake it, right? Just shake it off. Okay? So this is where my story and Ethan's story differ, because Ethan had, probably 20 years later, right, saw the asphalt or tar, whatever it was. But in his childlike mind, again, the problem, because he's a curious guy like me, the problem was, I know it's hot, but how hot is it? Right? I think he had more sense than me, though, because he picked it up in his hand, which enabled him to drop it immediately. Minimal damage. Minimal damage. It was a good learning experience for him.
Sorry.
No, you're fine, my love. I stepped on it. And the idea was that I was supposed to be able to flick it and kick it off. Good evening, Nick. Give me a quick sec. Let me wrap this one up quickly. The idea was that I was supposed to be able to kick it off. But wouldn't you know that this thing fused to the bottom of my foot? For whatever reason, this thing fused to the bottom of my foot and burnt a hole in the bottom of my foot the size of my head. Oh my goodness. It was, it stuck. Verna may say it stuck. Yeah. So when we got it out, my dad had to what my dad did was he boiled some banana. We're Jamaicans, third world country, right? Holistic healing. He boiled some green banana. He smashed the green banana, right? Put it into a banana leaf and made a poultice out of this and wrapped it around my foot. And I think what that was is the starch in the banana was able to draw out any infection that could have possibly been present in there and possibly saved an amputation. Yeah, curiosity almost killed this cat. But I still got 7.5 lives left. I'm good. God bless you, Nick. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
We are blessed and highly favored.
Hi, Nick.
I only picked up half your story there. All I got was like my dad made a banana, and he pushed the banana into my foot.
I know. As a child, we were just talking about my innate curiosity. I saw a piece of asphalt one day, and even though I knew it was hot, I needed to quantify for myself just how hot it was. So I stepped on it, and I thought that I would be able to shake it off. That didn't work. It stuck to my foot. And it burned a hole in my bottom of my foot.
You're from Jamaica, Ian?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Born and bred, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a bad boy yachty.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's how I did. But however, I don't claim that anymore, because when this is a conversation we have very often. What are we defending when we say that? You know what I mean? What that kind of behavior is just, no.
I'm pretty sure. I was convinced that you're no longer a bad boy yardie when I see you and every single one of your children doing press ups in the morning. So that's not usually a atypical behavior of a bad boy yardie. So,
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday here, so it's like, it's like that midweek kind of transition where,
Hump
yeah, I know tomorrow's gonna be rough, but then Friday's like, yes,
Friday's just right there.
Yeah.
right there.
Right there.
So we're, yeah.
Well, listen, I just want to encourage you guys, where everybody's enjoying the show again as usual. I don't even know if you want to call it a show, but it is a show.
Yeah.
And it's like Tonight with the Simpsons on NBC.
You see, Nick comes in and Nick just continues to speak life into us, and we just trying to manifest our best life over here. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate you so much.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to carry on listening in and talk to some of my people, but you keep going through it, folks, okay? And loving your feeds, loving your lives, and I'll catch you folks later.
Thanks,
All right,
Nick.
thank
We
you,
appreciate you so much. God bless.
Take care.
You as well. Right. Yeah. So I mean, and so that was my story there with, and you know what? I must have been in Jamaica. I must have been a really small kid, because I remember swimming, like if a truck come through and made a big rut with the big tires. Like I remember swimming in those tire ruts. You know, good rain. That was a pool. You know, let me tell you, man. I tell you, don't third world living. I don't know how to say this, and I don't mean to be offensive, but I mean, it just goes to show you that you can be happy in any situation or circumstance if you've got God in your heart. Because, you know, the liberty in those third world countries, the liberty is hard. It's hard. I mean, you look at, like, I think of the movie Slumdog Millionaire, for instance, and that was based in India, right? And how those kids come up, I couldn't imagine living that hard a life. However, you see them, and they you know, impoverished children, they always find a means to be happy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've seen that one recently in class.
Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was interesting.
Interesting to say the least, eh? Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed that movie. I didn't mind it at all. There's a lot of messages. I mean, that's a tough life, man. And I mean, I've had a hard life. And I mean, having said that, I think that my saving grace is just that innately I always knew, for whatever reason, I've always known that no matter how hard or how bad I have it, someone always has it worse. That no matter how difficult times are, they can always be worse. I've always known that innately. I don't know how or why. I've just always known that. And that's kept me from falling into too severe a depression or falling into despair over the years, the rough and lean years. And there have been some rough and lean years.
And Verna May says it's so sad some kids are not satisfied with all they have today. Yeah.
True story.
Because they have that social media that even though they have like the world at their fingertips, they still choose to kind of go towards those narcissistic behaviors where it's all about me, and they want to have what everybody else has. The grass is always greener on the other side. And I feel that, you know, social media has some plus sides, but we also see the negative. And again, which one are you going to feed, the positive or the negative? Because yes, it is a platform, the platforms that allow you to see outside the home. But again, then you're either lusting, you're either...
Lusting, oh, well said.
You're
yes.
lusting. I think for me, it was when I've seen this one where, I think I might have mentioned it already, where a woman showed her husband the dress, and then he was like, oh, that's too revealing. And then he shows her she shows him the picture of the guy that... Or the guy
that he liked.
Yeah, the picture he liked of a
Facebook that he
woman
liked,
wearing the same dress.
The same dress, yes.
Yeah, so it just allows you you to want something that either is unattainable, whether that is your body, because you're trying to maintain a figure or
unrealistic expectations.
Yes, thank you, baby. Yeah. It was there. It's just
no, I got you.
So it's just, what is it? What are you gonna feed? The positive or the negative? So we have a platform. We're sharing positive. We want to look at all this raw stuff, these traumas, this negative stuff, and try and turn it into a positive. Because as society, again, there's always that judgment. There's always their opinions. But who are we supposed to be making happy? Ourselves, not everybody else.
That's right. And Verna May said I was happy to get a coloring book 2 times a year, right? Right? Coloring books. I mean,
I remember being with a babysitter, and they would keep us busy by having a coloring contest. Yeah.
And you know, I listened to this, and Jody, I think you're familiar with CHVN here in the city. It's our faith-based radio station, and I that's all that plays in the car, actually, either that or Bob Marley, to be quite honest. And so I was listening as I take her to work, and I miss Chuck Swindell. He does a little 5-minute thing every day at a certain time, and I miss it
I think
because
it's like at 6 a.m.
Yeah, because that's the time I used to go to work previously, and and it's what do they call it again? It'll come back to me. Anyways, I was listening the other day, and I heard that there was an author, and he was speaking, and he said some really interesting things. And one of the things that he said is that, right or wrong, children nowadays are raised, and this is to piggyback what you're saying there, Verna May. Children nowadays are raised to believe that they are the center of the universe. Right? Children nowadays are raised to believe that they are the center of the universe. And because we are parents and we want the best for our children, some of us might say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We want our children to be empowered. We want our children to be happy. We want our children to know that they are loved and that they matter. Absolutely, I agree with that. And the problem occurs, however, is that when your child is the center of the universe, where is there room for God? If your child is the center of their own universe, where is there room in that for God? There isn't. Right? So the idea of raising a child to be good, godly, and kind gets lost when the child is the center of the universe, and then they just, as Verna May just said, they end up being entitled. Says, yes, entitled, and they don't appreciate things or have no faith. We are God's people. We make no apologies for it. The world is in the condition that it is in today, not because God turned his back on us, but rather because we turned our collective backs on him. Full stop, end statement. Let me please say that again. The world is in the condition that it is in today, not because God turned his backs on us, but because we collectively have turned our backs on him. Full stop, end statement. If we can get back to being good, godly, and kind, we can undo a great deal of the harm that is in this world today. We are God's people. Make no apologies for it. God's lives matter. Full stop, end statement. Last thought, my love.
No, I think there's so much more to go into this. Like
There
you
always
were
is.
talking about that misogyny, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a one topic in an evening that we can go into.
Man, we could go into that for like the rest of our lives. And I want to. I do.
Yeah.
I do, because the toxic masculinity that is so prevalent in the world today, it how do you get outside of it? How are you able to grow outside of the bias of societal norm?
Yeah, and I like, it's just like opening a lot of windows here to look at, because you have like the men's world, and then you have the feminists wanting it to be a women's world, and here we go again, Jody. We want it to be an equal world, not one
Equalist.
more than the other. Just kind of coexisting in this life to bring like enjoyment for everybody. Like, why can't we just
From the rib
yeah.
to be beside. God could have took a bone from the heel to be trodden on their heel. He didn't. Could have took a bone from the hand to be oppressed. He did not. From the rib to be beside, in unity and grace. Equalists. Equalists all day long.
So yeah, the equalists, and then looking at our relationships, that every relationship that we enter in, we're gonna bring our portion to it, and it's got to be met both ways. Either it's a friendship, a partner, your family members. There has to be two people putting into these relationships, just not one. Because if we don't do the one, or if we just do one side, then somebody's not feeling so much love, or that appreciation that is not being put into it.
And if you want to expand on that very quickly,
Says-
there, Verna says Verna May says she sees it in different ways. If you'd like to expand on that very quickly, we're about to wrap. However, we can would love to hear your thoughts on what the difference is there, because I am not committed to any of my ideas, so much so that I'm not willing to change if I think that I'm wrong. If what you're telling me is making more sense than what I'm working with, by my nature, I'm forced to accept it as my new truth. From the rib, yet woman give birth, so sons should cherish women too. You will get no argument from me whatsoever, because hey, I've been saying for years that if men had to replicate the species, if men had to give birth, we'd have been done a long time ago, because I love my kids. I'm not going through that kind of pain for nobody. We're not wired to go through. We're not. And here's the thing. And my wife asked me, says that you're a feminist. No, I'm not a feminist. What I am is an equalist. And the stuff that doesn't make sense just doesn't make sense. I'm not a feminist because feminists believe that for one of the things they believe is that a woman can do everything that a man can do. My belief system is a little bit different. I believe that a woman can do any and everything that a man cannot. Right? We balance, we complement each other. There's a balance there. There's a balance. Right? So if we're all so caught up in wanting to be able to do the things that, the other can do, right? Where would we go where we do the things that we're like? Women are, the biology of it suggests that they're supposed to be the ones that birth the nations, right? That's the biology. That's what the Bible says. That's what biology says. And now we're talking about science saying all kinds of different stuff. Not judgment or condemnation. Balance, Verna. Balance. Your final thought, please, my love.
I did.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, outstanding. Want to thank you all for, in the Simpson family home, we understand that of the most importance is our time. So the fact that you should think enough of us to spend some of your valuable time with us, we are greatly appreciative of that. Thank you. We appreciate you. God bless you. And take this blessing with you as we go. Romans 15:13.
Yeah.
There we are.
I'm like, what do you do? There's a tab right there.
Yeah, right?
You're like looking and like, I just want to go. I love you.
Love you. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. God bless you all. Many blessings. We received that, Verna May. God bless you as well. And I know that, just very quickly, I want us to, I would love for us to all to reach a point where we can, as beloved Cousin Di says, you get to realize it's more about relationship and less about religion. Relationship with our Lord and Savior. Relationship, because if we often lean on our own understanding, right? And then once we have that relationship, we can take God at his word, because we carry accountability is everything. Accountability, especially for the wrongs that we've done, accountability is everything. However, there is one thing more important than accountability, and that's forgiveness. And you have to be able to forgive yourself, or else it just the growth that you can incur will be stunted. Right? And if you're carrying those burdens, and if you get to the point where you realize that it's about relationship with our Lord and Savior, then you can take him at his word when he says that I am he who wipes out your transgressions for my own sake and remembers your sin no more. You can take him at his word when he says that. I wipe out your transgression for my own sake, because it's my nature to do so, because I am God, and it is God's nature. It is my nature to wipe out your transgressions, not because you deserve it. You couldn't possibly do anything to deserve the love that I have for you. But I do it because it is my nature. And I remember your sins no more. To God be the glory. Take it to the cross. Put it down. Leave it there. That battle is not yours. Take it to the cross. Go forward and try to sin no more. It's really just that simple. Redemption for those who want it. Life and lived more abundantly if you want it. Free will. God bless and keep you. We appreciate you so much. We'll be back Friday with TGI Fridays. We do some karaoke, some worship. You know how we do it at Simpson Family Home. God bless you. Let us know how the 7 o'clock start worked for you.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that, let us know. Give us some feedback. And, we'll keep it going. If this is what it is, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Verna May, we haven't seen you in so long. It's been a while since you've decided. I'm so happy that you decided to come back and spend some time with us. Hopefully, we'll see you more often again soon. God bless you. We appreciate you so much. Cousin Di, Carla was over here.
Jody
was, Ben was here. We were rocking. God bless you. We appreciate you so much.